Say some things that might be usable for the intro. Let's do that.
Say the podcast name. Say our names. And then share what we think it is. Welcome to It's Happening for You.
For you. Is this even the song we want to start our podcast with?
This is It's Happening for You, the podcast with Robin Meharry and
Stephanie Lentini.
we love you. Love you. And then the music begins.
Hi, and welcome back.
Welcome back for season 2 of It's Happening for You. I kind of almost do feel like this is like a second season.
I feel like it's 1.5. Like,
yes,
I agree
1.5.
with you because I've been like, is this season 2? But I don't fully feel like I'm in season 2 yet. I feel like I'm in season 1.5. So
yeah, 1B. We have 1A and 1B. Because I feel like there's been, since we took a break and like you and I have experienced like things.
Yeah.
It feels like
life
and it feels like a new chapter.
Mm-hmm.
You know, of some sort. But like, I do feel like season 2 is going to be like, we'll start bringing on guests.
Ooh, okay, cool. Exciting.
You know, just throwing it out there.
Yeah.
I'm so happy to be back with you.
I know. It's good. It's very
really good. So good.
Oh, so what do we want to talk about today? What's been like on your mind? What do you want to chew on together?
I mean, I think like the thing that's so present for me right now is this whole premise and this whole idea of just everything being in the knowing. Not a belief, not like I believe it's going to happen, but being it past that into complete knowing in the realization of it, of, you know, like Frank said to me in my session that you listened to, of like feeling that it's normal. It's here already. It's normal. And I just like, I feel like that's in my awareness right now. Mm-hmm. And with that being said, like, you know, I think I told you I was listening to Frank's series on deciding and making decisions. And it's like, and I know you and I have talked about this, like for most of my life, I have not put my own decisions as the forefront. It's been more
your
like
preferences.
Yes. It's like I've been putting others' preferences before my own and therefore not making clear decisions for myself.
Sure.
Right? Sure. Like I haven't had the clarity on like, oh, what does like Robin want that doesn't have to do with like everybody else's opinions and preferences. And it's just like a very interesting thing I feel like I know that the universe works in this way now, that once you have the clarity and you decide, then it's done. It will come into your physical reality in the most perfect and optimal way, right? So I don't know. It's just fun. Like yesterday, I just kind of like it's almost like my brain opened, my mind opened up more and my awareness opened where I was like, oh, I'm getting this. Not just like in my mind, but I'm getting it like a complete body knowing.
A knowing, yeah.
You know, it's just so cool. I know we've talked about this so much, but there's like always more. We're always expanding, and it's just so fun. Like I've been on this journey for so long, yet like it just continues to expand.
Yeah.
You know?
Yep. Yeah. Yeah. There was something I wanted to say as like a follow up or a follow through to once you decide for something. And this is what's sort of up for me right now, or like what I'm like letting sink into knowing versus just
Mhm.
thinking, or
Yeah,
like,
yeah. Yeah.
the mental awareness of it is then letting it go.
Yeah. Yes, yes,
Not
yes.
micromanaging the process of
Yes.
manifestation,
Yes.
like
Oh my gosh, so
in
key. I'm glad
in
you
the
bring this up.
literal way of like I still like check in with the topic, or think there's still like something for me to do or more processes for me to do, etc. Talking about like a very specific like desire,
Yes.
like I don't really know what I want, and now I know what I want, and then I have a habit of still continuing to meddle in that realm.
Totally.
And that's like a part of what came through in my private session with Frank this Wednesday.
Oh, yes, I want to hear about it.
Yeah, I'll tell you. Well, it was like all about like just fucking letting go. And they were like at the end, they were like give up soon and give up now. Like just give it up and just say fuck it. They were literally like just say fuck it, fuck it,
Yeah.
fuck it. Like in
Oh, I
this
love
like
it.
sort of handing it over,
Yes. Oh, I just
and
got chills.
yes, and it's not like handing it over to like, Jesus Christ or God or some higher power, but the universe of my thoughts, to just let it unfold and like
Yes.
not micromanage the coming into physical manifestation.
Yes, yes, yes. I'm so glad you brought that up because that's such a important like piece of this
That's the
is that
allowing part, right?
yes, exactly, where we get so entangled we're still getting entangled in yeah, and how and like
Mm-hmm.
trying to figure it out. And like it reminds me of like in my session, which you listened to, the part where I was talking about my body, right? Of
Mm-hmm.
wanting a more toned body. And
Mm-hmm.
they said, okay, they gave me a couple different examples, which this one felt the best was
Mm-hmm.
imagining that you're diving into a pool and then you come up and somebody says, oh my gosh, you look amazing. And
Mm-hmm.
I was like, oh, that feels fucking amazing. Like I could totally visualize that and feel that. And they're like,
Yes.
stay in, like only stay in it long enough where it feels good. And then the second you start thinking about like how to get there, you let it go.
Drop it.
You drop it. And I was like, oh, I love that and so I've been practicing that. The second that I like see myself in the mirror and I start having the thought of like, oh, I would like to be somewhere else than I am right now. I visualize that. And
Mm-hmm.
then I start finding myself thinking, okay, well, if I work out more, if I, like
Yep.
the normal thing. And I was like,
How do
no,
I get there?
drop it,
Yeah.
drop it. And I just love that. It's like it can be that it is that easy. So even though
It
like it
is
can be,
it is
it is
as
that easy.
easy as we allow it to be.
Allow it to be.
Like it's
Exactly.
actually easier if we don't micromanage, because that is like the upstream sort of efforting, but
Yes.
it's so fucking habitual for me. Like I'm just gonna say it.
Yes.
Like
Yes.
I just have a habit of this, and
That's what
so
it is. Yeah.
there's a practice for me in not doing that.
Yes.
Which
Yes.
feels a little bit challenging at the moment, but it's like it's all good. I'm just
Yeah.
practicing a new skill or whatever.
Yep.
I'm practicing a new way, which is a beautiful way of allowing and
Yeah.
simplicity and ease, and um sort of like, yeah, just not efforting. Just not
Yeah.
efforting. Just like period.
Yes. Well, even Frank, they said efforting will not help you in this.
Yeah.
Period.
And
Efforting will
they
not
always
work.
say, especially like where you are now, like efforting is like it's like it will not yield the results that you're
No.
looking for.
Ugh. But isn't that like okay, for someone, I'll speak for myself. Like for so long, I efforted. You know what I mean? Like I just had this glimpse of me back in like 5 years ago,
Yes.
efforting like my ass off. And it's like to know that we don't have to do that anymore.
Yes.
We never had to, but
Relief.
like it's such a relief. Oh, it's like, oh, I can relax, man.
I think that I never experienced efforting in the traditional way. Like when I graduated college with my bachelor's degree, I was like, ooh, 9 to 5. Ugh. And I got like a part-time after school care job, like at a at-risk youth program.
Oh, cool.
And I worked like 2 to 6 Monday through Friday, and I was just like, this is perfect. Like, and then I decided to go back to school for a minute, because I wanted to feel like I was having more of an impact and not just like, the lowest rung of the staff, on in those types of programs. But even when I was in grad school, and then I was like revisiting the thoughts of another 9 to 5 where I just got paid more, I was like, and after semester 1, I just said fuck it all and kind of burned down the house. And I like moved to Colorado and did a bunch of sort of extreme things as a way of finding myself. And then I ended up working seasonally for quite a while. I mean, I wouldn't necessarily, I would say that something has shifted there, but I never really did like the corporate grind. I've never had a job that was 9 to 5. I don't think.
Cool.
I've worked a few jobs that were 40 hours a week. One of them being a volunteer job. When I showed up, I was like, wait a minute, it was like volunteer trail work. And I was like, you guys are working us 40 hours a week. Like, nobody said that in the contract. Like, I was just like, I thought this was like a vacation, like occasionally, do some trail work and like get housing and food,
Yeah.
And then I was like, that was probably the first time I ever had a full-time job. But still, I was like camping and like being a kid and, breaking dirt with tools. Like, it was really
not an office job.
The typical.
Yeah.
But still, I feel like the way in which I efforted was to be different. And it was very effortful to push against the system and to be fucking spiritual and like do processes and learn and ascend and become enlightened. And that's part of what I feel like I'm releasing now, is this need to analyze, to overanalyze, to achieve some certain level of perfectionism regarding like my spiritual growth. And in a lot of my private sessions and otherwise, when I ask questions to Frank, they're like, you're the star student. You don't need to you don't worry about it. Like, this isn't a classroom. If you want a gold star, you can have it. You can have as many as you want, but there's no like seat at the top of the next to God that you're going to be able to achieve, essentially. And like the first couple of times they mentioned that to me, I was like, yeah, I know, but like I can see more and more. It's not a problem to fix, but I can see more and more how that's sort of the efforting that I have established for myself, was the efforting of being a good student of life, a good spiritual student, and ensuring my ascension, and ensuring my entrance into heaven, the pearly gates.
Yeah.
Siri, go away. Siri, can you go away for 2 hours, please?
She likes to show up to our calls.
She said my entrance into the pearly gates.
Oh my gosh, how funny.
She picked that up. Anyway, so it's just I think we have our own different ways of applying effort to achievement,
Totally.
and okay, so I went on a tangent of talking
No, that's so good. I love that.
Yeah.
It's so interesting, like, to hear. I think it's really cool that we've had different experiences like that, because I did then go into the corporate like life, and I mean, it was my family's business, so there was a lot of emotional entanglement within that.
Mhm.
And that was like, yeah, the very traditional 9 to 5. And I was working for my uncle, who is really traditional in his mindsets too. So like
Mhm.
towards the end, I was with them for almost 12 years. And towards the end of my time with them, I started transitioning us to like people being able to work remotely and me taking
Mhm.
one day to work remotely. But it was like the biggest struggle to
Mhm.
even adapt that into our company, our system, for my uncle
Mhm.
to be open minded about that and all that stuff. And I mean, now we see how it's so great that I did it when I did, because then less than a year later, the pandemic happened and the company was able to continue running as I set everything
Yeah.
up in the cloud and
How
remote. And
cool.
so, but it was like I was in a very traditional, uh, like environment, and I was commuting because I chose to live in San Francisco, but
Yeah.
my uncle's company was in Los Altos, which is about like 45 minutes south of the city.
Yes.
But because I wanted to be like where my friends were and where the action was, and I loved San Francisco, so I wanted to be there. But then with the traffic and stuff, like, so I was commuting, I was in traffic, and then I was doing a
Yeah,
nine
you
to
were
five
in the
job.
grind.
I
You
was in the
were
grind.
on the grind. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, it was so intense. So like, yeah, I'm like, I can't even imagine like going back to a life like that. Well, I will not. That's just not my reality anymore. But
You know what's so funny? I just want to point this out. I'm wearing like a tank top, and if you could see the bottom half of me, I'm wearing like board shorts, and you're
oh, love it.
wearing your like button up
Collared shirt.
corporate shirt. And I love it. It's like you can take the girl out of Jersey, but you can't take the Jersey out of the girl or
Yeah.
whatever.
Yes, yes. Oh my gosh, that's so funny. So true. I'm like, we're having a call. I'll put on my white collared shirt, ready to go.
Oh my gosh, it's so fun. It's
So
so
fun.
fun.
Yeah, we're like really illustrating.
Yeah. For whatever reason,
Oh
like
yeah.
I don't know why, but like all day I wanted, or not all day, but like I thought about it multiple times this morning. I just wanted to show you what my shorts were. Like I have no
Can
idea,
I
but
see?
here it
Let me
comes.
see.
Here it
Yeah.
comes up in the conversation. There you can see.
Oh, how cute! Oh, I love them.
They're like biking
Oh,
shorts.
those are awesome. Those look really comfortable too.
Yeah, I got two pairs. They're supposed to be for mountain biking. You can like put liners underneath, and they
Oh,
have
that's
like little
cool.
clips to like attach the liners. But they just I feel like a surfer in them, and I'm just like,
Yeah.
ooh, I'm going to Bali or something, Like I also feel like a
Totally.
lesbian in them, but like I don't know why. That's not even important to point that out.
I love it.
I hope that's not offensive.
I mean, it's how you feel.
Oh my gosh.
Mm.
Oh, so funny.
That is so funny. Like hitting
Oh,
my keyboard. Um,
so what else?
mm.
What else? I was gonna I know I
What
told you
else?
like I started meditating
Yes.
um 2 days ago per the recommendation from Frank. They were
Oh,
like,
it
"Do you ever?"
was.
Yeah, they were like, "Do you ever sit down and meditate?" And I was like, "Meh, no, I don't." And they're like, "Yeah, we would recommend it." Like
Yeah.
again, and they're like, "Not to achieve anything, not to accomplish anything, but we would recommend it." And then I was thinking about, what I wanted to talk to you about today while I was getting ready, and I literally heard myself report to you, "Oh, yeah, I meditated the last 2 days, but I haven't meditated yet today." And
Mm.
it's just there's just that like, inherent like, "But I will," or, I'll do my task.
Yeah,
Um
get my gold star.
yes. And like setting that aside, I have enjoyed sitting and meditating for 15 minutes. I just like set a timer for 15 minutes, and I enjoyed particularly day 1. Um I felt like within the first 5 minutes, and I like sort of clicked into observer mode where I didn't actually try to stop myself from thinking. I wasn't like focusing on an object or a sound or something in order to not have thought or like give
Mm-hmm.
my mind a task, which is how I used to meditate, like kind of the Abraham way, is like they would say Esther would sit and listen to the whir of the air conditioning system or some
Mm.
sound that's like constant and continuous and not annoying and doesn't stimulate any opinions, essentially,
Mm.
that you can give your mind a task to focus on.
Mm.
But in this way, on whatever day that was, like Tuesday when I did it, um I didn't focus on any sound. I just sort of like zoomed out and let the thoughts roll by as if it were like a marquee, like a
Mm.
scrolling marquee, like a digital one. And I just was aware of the thoughts. Like,
Mm-hmm.
oh, there are thoughts. There are thoughts always happening.
Yeah.
And and I even like at a certain point was like, oh, that thought doesn't feel so good. And that thought does feel good.
Cool.
Or better,
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
then I was like, "Oh, that thought feels like really bad." And then I'm like, "Well, that's not true."
Yeah.
And or do I want to make it true? And
Yeah,
no,
yeah,
that's
yeah.
usually my if it feels bad. And it was very cool to be less identified with my thoughts because typically when I go throughout my day, it's like I'm thinking, I'm thinking, I'm thinking, and it's like I feel like I am my thoughts
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
sort of. And I just kind of
Mm-hmm.
go through these like, whoa, waves of like, depending on the quality of my thoughts, you know,
Yeah.
waves of just
Yeah.
washing machine
Yeah. Yeah.
thinking I'm my
Completely.
thoughts. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's what we've always thought, right? Like up to a certain point until we gathered the awareness that we're more than just our thoughts. There's a big chunk of our lives that's
Yeah.
what we thought we were.
That's
We're
who I
our
am.
thoughts.
And
I
yeah.
am. Yeah, this is it. Yeah, meditation, I mean, for me is game changer. Like
Hmm.
it's something I haven't been meditating this week because it's been so chaotic and like kind of off. I've meditated like maybe twice in the last 10 days, I would say.
Hmm.
But I feel different when I don't meditate.
Hmm.
Like it's totally apparent to me. It's more so when I'm around other people. So like when
Hmm.
I was traveling, I tried to meditate as much as I could, but of course there's going to be days that wasn't possible or couldn't happen.
Hmm.
And I then could honestly, it was like there was a couple of times I would be like, "Oh, I'm getting really like easily irritated."
Hmm.
And then I'm like, "Oh my gosh, I haven't meditated for a couple days." And
Hmm.
it really does affect me that much personally. That's how important it is for me to do because it
Hmm.
really does ground me and um it broadens my awareness in a way that then yeah, I'm not becoming exactly what you're saying. I'm not getting entangled with all the thoughts that are happening
All
or
the
like
thoughts.
all the things happening around me. Just
Mm.
like I'm able to have a higher perspective
Hmm.
when I meditate and check in every day. Because in my meditation, what I do is I put on theta brainwaves
Hmm.
and then I just move my attention from my head into my heart, which is a Sarah Landon and the council. That's kind of like their directive is going to your heart space. And then from my heart space, I open up all my chakra systems.
Hmm.
And then I imagine like a really bright blue light coming in through my system. And then I just then from that place at that point, I feel
Hmm.
like open and
Hmm.
allowing.
Hmm.
And then I let messages come, whatever wants to come
Cool.
at that point. So that's kind of like my process, but it's like there's this really intentional moment where I step out of the story of Robin
Yeah.
and move into what I would call oneness, love, pure
Yeah.
love. And
Yeah.
so that really, and I only do it like maybe 10 minutes,
Yeah.
Like on average, it would be like a 10-minute, I put 10 minutes on my phone for the waves and that's it. And sometimes I'm in and out on even during that. Like if something comes up and I have a thought like, oh, I really want to do this today, I'll
Yeah.
come out of meditation and put it down on a notepad and so I don't forget. And then
Yeah.
I go back in. So it's not that serious. Like I'm not like, mom.
Yeah.
But it really serves me.
It's interesting because it's like it's like you step out of your pointed personality, your
Yeah.
very specific identity and the association with that for moments, which is incredibly valuable. And also what I'm understanding to be like, I don't know if you would call it the purpose of life or whatever, the whole like reason that we are here is to have a personality and preferences and to allow those desires to come forth and to
Yeah.
flow.
Yeah.
And that is in its nature expanding the universe and unconditional love.
Yes.
So it's like almost like a paradox, of
Yes.
like not being too heavily identified with the self, but also acknowledging that the self has value. Like, and the preferences are like incredibly valuable and
Yes.
specifically the vehicle through which the universe is expanding.
Yes.
Kind of
Yes.
like fucked up.
It's so funny because like I literally was like, I wonder if you're going to say exactly what I was like had the thought earlier this morning about like, oh, this is the purpose of like everything is literally what you just said. It's like being in the full realization of all that we are,
Yes.
which is far more than this body, this one identity in this time period, right?
Yes.
But no, like having that awareness at like ascended view
Yes.
in this physical experience, like being
Yes.
really present in this physical experience with that understanding.
Yeah, like it with that lens of like perspective, it does make like decision making and things like that like just tremendously easier because it's like, oh yeah, like this is perfect. Like this is for the expansion of everything. Like
Yeah.
like yesterday I kind of talked through like a decision that I was coming to about saying no to something, and in part of the conversation it was like, oh yeah, okay, remembering again that like saying no is just as valuable as saying yes to something.
Yeah.
And it's like the best thing. If it feels better to me, it is better for all of us.
Everything. Yeah.
That for not even just the
Yeah.
2 or 3 or 4 people
Yeah.
involved, but for everything. And so that like sort of broad perspective of who we are and what we're doing here and who we are, like, and where we came from, and that,
Yes.
sort of having those lenses, that lens to look through, it's like it feels easier.
It does.
Yeah.
And like with like the underlining understanding too that we were meant to come, like being in a physical body is incredible. Like I imagine like, souls are lined up to get to be here and experience this, right? Like
get in a body.
Oh my gosh, you can be in a body and you can taste and you can smell and you can see and you can like
creepy.
Have all these experiences.
Yes.
That's like not what you can experience in different realms.
It's the contrast.
Yes.
That they all want it. That we as souls want to come into a physical body to experience.
Yes.
The contrast, the difference between chocolate and vanilla, the difference between, literally.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So it's like remembering that this is supposed to be like really fun. It's like a playground, you know what I mean?
It's supposed to be fun. Come on.
We take it so seriously. Like, it's like, what are we doing? It's not that serious. Oh my gosh. But it's so funny. It's like even I like what just was like an example also from my session about what they were talking about eating with
Yes.
food. And
Yes.
it's like it's really going back to that like they were using the example of the baby. Like a baby doesn't fucking care. Like they want to taste everything. They're putting everything in their mouth to see the texture and the taste of it. And if they don't like it, they spit it out,
Yep.
and they stop eating when they're full. And they
Yeah.
don't give a flying fuck if you want to give them peas because you think that's nutritious. To them, if they don't like it, they're not going to eat it. Like it's really that
like,
simple.
bleh.
Yeah. And so I was like, they were saying, Frank and Paul in the Communion of Light were saying, like just because you're a smarty pants and you understand nutrition of different things, then you have this like idea of, oh, I should be eating spinach because it's really nutritious, but really I want that caramel corn or whatever they were saying in their example. And it's like, what if I loved that whole premise that they were talking about, like metaphysically speaking, so not biology, not like nutritional blah blah blah,
Yes.
but imagine that the second after it leaves your mouth, it's gone.
Yes.
It's gone. And I'm like, that is so cool. Like just like they were saying, how do you know the bedroom's in the next room if you're not there and seeing it? It's not.
Did they say this to you in your session or someone else's? Once it goes in your mouth, it just gets dropped into a vat of acid, and it
Yes,
does have
me.
none of the. It's so funny because I was talking with people about this yesterday, and they
Oh,
seem
buddy.
to get they seem to have heard it as well, but they didn't hear your session. I just
Oh,
assumed it was from
funny.
somebody else's session
Oh,
because
wow.
there's a bunch of people who are sharing their sessions with us, their private sessions, and like you and 3 others asked about body in the last week. So I got like a
Wow.
lot of different
That's cool.
information about what's going on with our bodies and food and eating and weight and et cetera, from a metaphysician's perspective, not a
Yes.
physician's perspective, right?
I
And
love
I
that.
love that,
Metaphysician.
yeah, once it's in your mouth, like you can't see it anymore. It's like the peekaboo game. It's completely gone. And
Yes.
it's like dropped into a vat of acid and it's like unrecognizable. Your body doesn't know if it was ice cream or whatever. Like
Yeah.
or you don't need to even give meaning to what your body knows about that because it's
Yes.
just gone essentially.
Yes.
Like I just love that.
I love that too.
I've been choosing ice cream a lot more for dinner than dinner.
I
Like
love it.
I mean,
Yes.
I don't like ice cream by itself. I like it with like a warm cookie or brownie or pie. So I've been choosing pie and ice cream for dinner. And I realize like a lot of times I'll eat dinner just to get to dessert.
Oh
It's
my
like,
gosh,
oh,
how
I'm really
funny.
excited for this dessert, but I have to
I
eat my
have
dinner
to.
first. I got to eat my peas first, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And I'm like, well, let me start with what sounds yummiest. And then if I want to eat dinner after that, I will.
Yep.
But I just been
Oh,
eating
that's so
dessert
good.
when I want to. I mean, I'm not like making a rule of it, but like
Yes.
I do have a lot of ice cream on supply. I bought a cherry pie yesterday and I just like, I'm like, that sounds delicious. And
That's
it's funny
awesome.
because Thomas hired a nutritionist yesterday, like a climbing nutritionist.
Yeah, yeah.
And he was like, "You ready to do this?" And I was like, no. You can hire her, but
I'm
I
having
don't
cherry pie and ice cream for dinner.
I'm going to the store right now to get a pie."
I love that so much. So
I
good.
feel like the pie was a little bit of a rebellious move though, and it wasn't as it's the quality isn't as good as I would hope it to be. So I might
Mm,
end up just eating the middle out and getting rid of the rest of it. Just the
great.
gooeyest part.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, but I love summertime and like fruit desserts just with vanilla
Yes.
ice cream on top is like
Oh my God.
literally like it's not like I want that in the middle of winter, but nothing's better than it. It's just so
Uh,
good.
that makes me want, like I'm not like a super sweet person. So what I would love in like that regard would be like fresh, like so delicious strawberries with whipped cream.
Yes.
Ugh. My mouth is watering.
We're talking about all the delicious things. Like, yeah, that's what we came here for, is the just freaking the experience of those things. But you don't have to like, overdo it or overeat or like finish your plate because it's
Indulge.
there. Yeah.
Like this
Like,
whole word of I'm indulging today.
I'm indulging. I'm going to let myself.
Yeah.
I'm going to let myself just this once, that sort of thing.
Oh my
Just,
gosh. I'm still like, I still have practice to do on that. That is so
yeah.
habitual for me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because even yesterday, I found myself saying, like, being aware that of what they recommended and those kind of like premise of like, just eat what I want, stop when I want, and it's gone the second it leaves my mouth. But enjoy the texture, enjoy the taste, like be present with it. But then I also am aware that I was having the thoughts like, well, today I'll just let myself like do whatever I want. Why? What? So what? Today I'm not allowed to do that? Is that what I'm telling myself? Like, what? That doesn't make sense.
It is very empowering to like look from like a meta perspective and just see like that there's general things that we're telling ourselves about food and body that we can just start telling ourselves new things. It's sort of similar to like just seeing yourself, doesn't matter the timeline, but jumping out of the pool and someone being like, damn, you look amazing, and then feeling that and allowing the feeling, like allowing yourself to have that now and then just releasing it and letting it go. Oh, well, I lost my train of thought because I was like, I was on a train.
You were.
I don't know where it went.
Wait, that's crazy. I saw it leave the station.
You saw it. You saw it leave the station, and then did you see it go off the track?
Yeah. Then there was a fork, and it was just boom, just fell off.
I don't know what I was talking about. Oh my gosh, I love that. Oh, I remember what I was talking about. I asked about body in one of my first private sessions with them, and they suggested for me, and this sort of like leads me to the next thing I'd like to talk about.
Oh, awesome.
But they said to me, sit down 10 minutes a day and just write like, my body is fit, lean, and strong. And then they were like, and allow that statement to evolve. Like just spend 10 minutes a day writing out how you want your body to be as if it were already here and present. And I did that like for a couple of days and not even always writing it and just being like, my body's like, my fit body, my fit, strong, lean body is amazing. And it's getting thinner no matter what I do. And it's getting more toned no matter what I do. And within days of just asserting that in the universe of my thoughts, I just found immediate evidence to it. It's just like I felt like I lost 10 pounds when I looked in the mirror. I was just like, damn girl, you are fit and strong and lean.
Looking hella good.
And like and it's funny because I am fit and strong and lean, but like whatever. I was like saying I wasn't, and then I was like, no, now I'm saying it. Now I am saying that I am, and I'm immediately feeling the like thoughts prove themselves. That's what the union of like thoughts prove themselves. So you just like think the thoughts that you want to be proved and not the thoughts that you don't want to be proved to be true.
I feel like they've said it in a way that really resonated. Like you feel it now, and then you allow the universe to bring you the data to support that.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's that easy. And it's just true. Like the example you just gave is exactly what happens. Like whatever you focus on and the meaning you're going to give it is like what is going to be in your reality.
Yes. But we are so obsessed with looking for meaning outside of ourselves. Like I'll speak for myself. I don't need to say we all are, but like, I have been in the past obsessed with being like, what does that mean? What does that mean? Like,
Yes.
down to like, I had a dream about like 4 snakes, you know, what does that mean? Like, and read
Yeah.
a dream book. Like, you know, this is what snakes represent, and this is what the number 4 represents. And if they're this color, that's what that represents. And it's like
Yeah.
looking outside of myself for the meaning, but I get to assign whatever meaning I want to, literally anything.
Yes.
And it becomes immediately true. And
Yes.
so I've just been like, oh, like, let me choose like a meaning that feels better, you know? Like,
Yes.
let me just, even when I was sick, I was like, oh, like, there's this old I was sick last weekend, and there's this habit of saying like, oh, it's like my body releasing and purging and like getting rid of the gunk. Um, especially spiritually, like, that's something that we say, I'm letting go of things that don't serve me anymore. But one of the things that the communion of light always reminds me of, or Paul always reminds me of when I'm talking to them, is like, well, you can say that's what's going on, but you're just going to continue to get evidence of the necessity to release.
Wow.
And
Wow.
like, you're going to continue to be observing your environment or
Wow.
regarding it in the sense like it's a project, and there's more to be cleaned out, and there's more to be released, right?
Whoa.
And then I caught
That's
myself.
a tricky one, right?
I caught myself mid sickness, and I was
so
like,
good.
I did notice that right away. I was like, I even heard myself say it aloud to someone, like, oh yeah, I'm just like purging or releasing. And then I'm like, no, I'm just
Oh my
fucking
God.
sick.
Wait,
I'm
I'm
just sick. Go ahead.
Sorry. Okay. I feel like, yes. I'm so happy you're bringing this up. And I think like the key is to ask yourself, like, cause okay, sorry, let me explain. When you first said that, I was like, oh, well, that feels kind of good to me to believe that.
Yes.
Right?
Yep.
I was like, oh, that kind of feels like okay. And then as you were talking, and then they brought in the awareness, like, okay, then it would just be you're going to attract more experiences of needing to release.
Yes.
I was like, oh shit, well, I don't want that. Like, and then I was like, oh, it's as simple as asking ourselves a question, like tuning into like, how does it feel to have this thought? Yes, right? Like being aware of how it feels. But then the next question is, do I want more of this?
Yeah.
Do you want more releasing, needing to release? No,
Junk.
the answer to that would be no,
Yeah.
right?
Spiritual cleansing for the rest of my life, please.
Yeah. It's like, no, I don't want that. So
No.
what is it that you want more of? And then have that be your thought.
Yeah, and I was just like, I'm just sick. Like, I just got sick.
Yeah,
I just caught a bug, and it's like on its way out.
It's leaving. Yeah.
Like, I was just like, I didn't get all bent out of shape, because I was just immediately like, I'm already getting better.
Yeah.
You know, it's like inevitable.
Yes.
I'm okay with not being well in this moment, because I know wellness is on its way. That's what they say, similar to like, I'm okay with the water or the power being turned off in this moment, because I know it's coming back. Like, I'm fine with that, you know? And I was just like, whatever, I'm fucking sick. I'm going to sleep. I don't care. You know, I'm going to cancel my sessions, and I'm going to sleep, and it's not me having a huge like upgrade.
Yeah. Yes.
Because we think that we like upgrades.
Yes.
But through the process of having to release gunk, then I just love that. I just love that they offered that up. And I just like that. You know, it does initially feel like, oh yeah, I want transformation, I want upgrades, but I don't want it. I don't want to continue this process of feeling like there's just, I mean, maybe I don't want upgrades because I'm already perfect. There's nothing to upgrade.
Exactly. Why? Yeah. Why do you want another upgrade? Like,
I don't need an upgrade. There's no tasks.
No. And that's like the realization, right? Like when we reach realization, there is no need for upgrades, because you're in the realization of all that you've always been. Everything that you want to be, ever were, everything is here now.
Yes.
And so like okay, there's 2 things coming up. Like also in my session, if you remember to ask them about tiredness, I was like, I've been like really tired, blah, blah, blah. And they're like, okay, like we want to offer you this. Like, are you tired or are you relaxed? Because they feel the same. But one you want more of, and one you don't. I'm like,
one you want more of something different.
Yes.
Yes,
Like, I
that's
don't want more tiredness. No, more
yes.
relaxation. Hell yeah, that sounds great.
Yes.
So, like, the second they brought that through, that narrative has completely changed for me.
Love it.
And it feels
Yes.
so good. But it's like that, it's that having that awareness. I don't know. That is real. I'm really glad of what you just brought through and said.
Yeah.
And I think, like, I feel like when I was having really bad allergies when I was in Switzerland, and
Mhm.
I still, even in this moment, I almost want to ask like Frank and the Communion Light about it, because I'm like, I still, the human part of me is like, why? Why
Yeah.
did that happen? You know, I'm like,
What was the
really?
meaning of this? Why?
Yes, right, exactly. Like that is present for me still.
And also I think the tendency, I'm just going to interject this.
Yeah.
The tendency to ask why is because we think that if we know the answer to that question, we'll be able to avoid it again in the future.
Yes, we'll be able to fix it.
We'll be able to fix it. So it never happens again. But in our
Yes.
pursuit of the solution to the problem, we're just pursuing solutions and problems.
Yes. Yes. Keeping ourselves in it, right? Like keeping it active,
Yeah.
keeping it part of our reality.
Yes.
I am someone that gets allergies.
Yeah.
No, how about, so, okay, what I was going to say is the little fun thing that I was doing when that was happening.
Yes.
And I want to practice this more, is like, I imagine like my higher self, my soul self, higher beings. I'm like, they don't have allergies.
Mm.
You know what I mean? Like, they're not sitting around sneezing, itchy, blah, blah,
Yes.
blah. And I'm like, okay, like, what if this is just something I have created? Like, it was something
Mhm.
that has been a part of the universal or the
Cultural.
planetary,
Yes.
cultural belief system, consciousness. And
Yes.
then at some point I picked that up
Yeah.
from my
Yeah.
parents or
Like jet
whatever.
lag.
Yes, 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 just like that.
You're like, Tiger's not really experiencing jet lag. I was like, Tiger's a baby and doesn't know anything about the cultural construct of jet lag yet.
Yeah, she's like, I'm not believing in jet lag. But like, if we keep talking about jet lag, she's going to believe it, right?
You just teach her that this is a thing that she can expect to experience anytime she travels for more than 6 hours in a plane,
Yes.
depending on
Yes.
the direction she's going.
Yes.
It gets worse some ways.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Which is interesting because coming back, she's
Yes.
only been with me.
Oh, yeah.
And sleep has been smooth. That's all I'm going to say. That's all I'm going to say.
This is some cool stuff to
Isn't it?
ponder and like apply to,
Yeah.
I guess, yeah, not make a lesson out of or anything, but just to be like, huh, okay. Yeah.
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 And like, when we say like, playing in our imagination, like meditation, or you don't even have to call it meditation, but at some point, if you're like, imagining what you want to create, what your desires are, and you're feeling into it or whatever.
Mhm.
Wait, where was I going with this? Uh-oh. My train just hopped off the track as well.
Weird.
I'm ready for my second coffee. Let me.
I'm ready for my cherry pie.
Oh my gosh, I love it. Oh my gosh. I don't know. Oh. I was just gonna say that there's like, again, this whole concept of presence, right? Like the now moment. Like
Yes.
when we're feeling it now, it's not like in our imagination and somewhere else and it's a future thing. It's like, no, those things that we're feeling are right now. They're
Yes.
here right now. So like,
Yes.
I've been kind of, even today, like I had this awareness that kind of came in, and this was along with the session too, where I was asking about I do want a future romantic partner and a baby. And at that time, Charlie's
Yes.
baby, was on my lap, and they're
That
like,
was so
close your
cool.
eyes. And I'm like, okay. They're like, whose baby's on your lap? I'm like, my friend Charlie, blah, blah, blah. And they're like, are you sure? And I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, tricky. I was like, I get it. I was like, no, I'm not sure. Like,
Yeah.
it's a baby on my lap. It could be mine. It could
That
be
I'm
somebody else.
raising. Yeah.
Yes, like, and so just like feeling into like all that I have right now, like I'm just telling this story to myself that this stuff is not mine.
Yes.
The brand new Tesla in the driveway that I get to drive whenever I want is not mine.
Yeah.
The baby's not mine. This beautiful house in this beautiful neighborhood's not mine.
Yes.
Why? But
You're having
I'm
it right
here.
now.
I'm
Yeah.
experiencing it. I'm experiencing everything. All the feelings I'm having is
Yeah.
of having it.
Yes.
So like lean into it, feel it fully, and know that by feeling it fully, then there's just the universe is just going to provide me more and more and more
Yeah. Yeah.
of that, right?
Yeah. I like in some of my my recent sessions,
I want to listen to your recent ones.
I'll share them with you.
Great,
And some
thank
of
you.
them I'm like I've been having this like kind of like, "Oh, what's going on?" And they're like, "Look around the room and just notice if you're out of alignment or if you're in alignment or that you're in alignment with everything that you're having right now." And like I'm like, "Yeah, I guess you're right." Like I
Wait,
am.
can you expand
I
on
don't
that?
get it. That's the thing. I'm like, well,
I'm
it's
like,
all
tell me more.
here. It's
Yeah.
all here. And there's nothing that's here that I don't feel in alignment with. It's because it's here.
No,
I
I'm
don't
doing.
like okay, so this is
Yes.
sort of like an open-ended like I don't know what
Yeah.
it means, but it's something that I've been like, okay, yeah. You're right. Like is whose baby's in your lap, like that kind of thing. I'm like I am in alignment with all that I'm having right now. And like they just keep reminding me just like focus there and just say things, be more general was one of the more recent
Oh.
things that they said, like just don't be you're being too specific about all of the things that you're
Mm.
wanting, like just be more general and very generous with yourself and with others, and just say
Mm.
very general statements of like um all is well, or isn't it wonderful, and not like isn't that wonderful or isn't it wonderful that, but just isn't it wonderful. And
Hmm.
everyone everywhere and everything everywhere wants to help me.
Hmm.
um
Hmm.
I'm in the right place at the right time. Some of the things feel better at certain times, but it's just sort of bringing me back into this present moment of like all is well right now, like
Yeah.
all is well right now, and everything in my environment I'm in alignment with.
I love that. Just as you said that, like I've never heard that before, of like looking around in your environment and feeling into alignment, like, are you in
Yes.
aligned? And it's like, so just as you were talking, I was just looking around the room and I'm like, yeah, yeah. Like I know what you mean, where it's like, you can't really explain it, but it's a feeling like you'll know if you're in alignment with all these things.
Well, you'll know you are in alignment with something when it is in your physical environment too. Right? Like
that's how this works, right?
and they kind of were saying like some of these other things that you feel like you're just not in alignment with them, and then like I want to make a project out of it, and I'm like, but god damn it, I want to be in alignment with it. And it's like, just fucking
Yes.
chill. Like that's what I started this said at the beginning, like when they were like, just chill out, give it up,
Yeah.
just chill
Yeah.
out, Stephanie, just like
Yeah.
just give it up. I
Yeah.
don't have any other words for like what
Yeah.
feels really good for me right now. It's just like giving up, letting
Mm.
myself be carried, letting
Mm.
myself be carried.
Float down the river.
Yes. Just
in a tube.
even when I went hiking the other night and I was feeling effort walking up the hill, and I'm like, this is an illusion. It doesn't have to be hard. And so I was just like, I'm going to let my body carry me. I'm going to let the ground carry me. And it was like, oh my God, infinitely more easy
Was
because I
it?
was just said, I'm going to let myself be carried. And I also at a similar moment in time, because I was feeling this like, I was like halfway through the hike and I was like kind of struggling with my thoughts. Like I was like, yeah, damn, I'm gonna go for a hike and I'm gonna feel better on the hike,
Yeah,
you
right.
know? And like it was just still like kind of, and so then there was that moment where I was like aware that like I just wanted to give up right then. So I was like, I'm just gonna let my body carry me. I'm gonna let the earth
Mhm.
carry me. I'm gonna let the trail carry me. And I felt lighter. It felt easier. I felt like I was on like a conveyor belt, you know,
Oh, cool.
like at the flat escalator things, you know,
Yeah,
that
yeah,
the
yeah.
airports like that.
Yes.
And then I had the next thought that kind of popped in my head was to ask for help. Like I have helpers all around, not
Mm.
like the universe, but like helpers, like angels or whatever, however
Yeah.
you
Guides,
think of
whatever.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and in a particular series, it was one of the like live workshops recently that the Communion of Light did. They did this whole talk about like when you go to France and you try to pretend like you speak French, like the French people get mad at you and they like don't want to help you. But when you say Bonjour, I don't speak French, like they're just more than willing to help you because you're just being vulnerable and asking for help in your language.
Yeah.
And so I like literally, and it was an analogy for asking our helpers for help. And so I
Mm.
literally in my head was like, Bonjour, bonjour, helpers. I don't speak French. Like I don't speak metaphysics. I don't speak whatever the language
Yeah.
of the universe at the moment. Like, can you help me? And
Ah,
like the this was almost like exactly halfway through a 4.5 mile hike.
wow.
And I was like, the last half, the second half was like notably lighter, bouncier, more
Wow.
enjoyable. I like everything looked brighter. I was just like, yeah, they're here. They're helping me.
Oh, that's so awesome.
The ground is carrying me. Like,
Wow.
yes.
Ah, I love that. I love that because I definitely feel like I can right now because I haven't been as active as I have in the past.
Mhm.
I definitely like where we live is all hills. And so
Mhm.
even like going out for a walk, it's not like a easy like you're
Mhm.
going to be like going up like a steep hill right away. And so I'm like, oh, that's going to
Mhm.
be so hard. Do I want to
Mhm.
do that? Oh, that sounds so hard. And so like having this visualization and this awareness that you just brought through is perfect of like no, the ground meets me. It's all a illusion.
Yes. Yes. It's just rising up to meet you.
Oh,
The
that makes
reason we
so much
think that our
better.
muscles will be straining is because we just believe that. So, like,
Yes.
it's like we know it. It's like beyond belief. It's like we know that to be true,
Yes.
although it doesn't have to be.
Oh my gosh, just like what just the image that just came in was like when the people built the pyramid,
Oh, yeah. Yes.
right? Like the
Yes.
pyramids. It's like, well, they didn't obviously there's something in their awareness that they didn't have the limitation of like I can only do X, Y, and Z or Z. I say X, Y, and Z now because that's like how English people say it, British
Okay.
people.
Okay. I like it. You're so cultured.
I'm so cultured. Bonjour.
Bonjour. I don't speak French.
I'm literally gonna say that on my walk.
Dude, I mean, I don't know if it, well, you
I
can
love
apply
it.
it anywhere. I was
Anywhere.
applying it to my thought. I was like, please help me with these thoughts. Like, I
I
can't
love it.
figure this out, this problem that I'm chewing on.
Oh my
But
gosh, so good.
the, yeah, I guess you could do it anywhere,
Anywhere.
invoke your guides and ask for help.
Oh, I love that. I love
Yeah,
that. Anyways, so good. So,
it
so
is so
good.
good.
And that's just fun. Like, I love like giving examples like that of like our personal experiences with stuff, like, because like otherwise I wouldn't even know that that's possible. But now
Yeah.
I know it's possible because you experienced it.
Yeah.
So I'm
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
oh, cool. Well, if Stephanie has experienced that, I know that that's something I can experience too. So that's like
Totally.
why it's so important to like share this stuff, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
Ah,
I'm glad
that's
I
so
did.
fun. Yeah, me too. So awesome.
Yeah. I feel like that's a good sort of place to start to wrap up for today.
I agree.
It's
We
a
covered a
really,
lot, I feel like.
yeah. And it's good to get back into it. I mean, Robin and I, you and I, we've been still getting together and talking, but it's been nice to just be like, just shooting the shit, you know, like
Yeah.
two chickens gabbing.
Gavin.
You're just
Yeah.
like, I just need to talk to you. Which has been really nice for the last couple of
Ah,
weeks.
it's been so
Yeah.
good.
We tried to record an episode actually. Maybe
Oh,
we'll
yeah.
put a blooper out of this. We tried to record the last time we tried to record. Let me restructure that sentence.
Yes.
Robin was still at Lake Geneva, and her setup was like outdoors on this beautiful balcony. It was the second time we tried to record there.
Yes.
And she was like, "Oh wow, I see this like huge storm coming in. It's very beautiful." And she turns her screen, and it's like black sky, this like curtain of storm coming in, and then like literally like 20 seconds later, this wind just like whipped through the patio, and like she had cards and all of her stuff set up on the table. It just like went flying, and she's like, "Oh shit!" She tried to go inside, and like we were like, "No, we're not recording today. That's it. That's just like
I
the storm.
literally
You created the storm so you could just give
we're
yourself permission to like
we're
not."
done.
Yeah,
Well,
we're
you
done.
too, because
Oh,
you
was
didn't
it
want
me
to record.
too?
Yes, you didn't
Yes.
want to record that day either. We both were like, "Oh, we need to record." We made this like idea of like doing it this day at this time, and then like the storm comes in, and literally that it was like because I pulled cards for the session, and then like one card goes flying, and I'm like,
Yes.
"Oh shit, I need to go get that." And by the time I came back, things were flying everywhere. Where then I was like, "Stephanie."
I gotta go.
I gotta go. And my computer literally flew off the table into my hands. And I was like, oh, threw it inside. It was
Wow.
insane. But like, of course, like the American out on the balcony, look at this huge storm coming. Like, isn't it beautiful? It's like everybody else is like, locking up the
Putting
shutters.
the shutters.
Yeah. And I'm outside. So funny.
Yeah, that was
It was
perfect though. That
perfect.
was like 3 weeks ago. So we had a little pause. We had a
It was
little break.
perfect.
And
Exactly
here we go.
perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're back.
Love
We're
it.
back.
We're back with
But we'll
no
see.
attachments.
Yeah, exactly. I was gonna like, well, next week we'll see.
Yes. But a few people have reached out and were like, I really love hearing you guys talk, and you guys are hilarious, and I'm looking forward to the new episodes. So it's fun to
Yay.
be back and recording.
Oh, that's so fun to hear.
Those three
You
people.
know? Because I don't
We
check
love you.
statistics or anything like
I
that.
haven't been either. Yeah.
Yeah, so I have no idea. Like, are people listening? Hello, anybody out there? Like, I have no idea. So it's nice.
If you're listening, let us know. We'd love to hear from
We
you.
would love to. It really
it's so
would be
fun.
so fun. Because right now we're just talking to each other.
And Colleen, who's in Australia. Yeah.
Oh, how
We love you,
fun.
Colleen.
Yes. Love you. So cool. So awesome.
Okay. All right.
All right.
Well, that's a good conclusion for the day. We love you.
We love you.
I heard I listened to this astrology podcast the other day when I just wanted to distract myself, and she was like, if you're liking this, like and subscribe and leave a comment. We would appreciate that.
Yeah.
She was so just normal and about it, and I'm a little bit like, oh, but yeah, if you do, please do that.
Yes,
we'd love to hear
do.
from you. Yeah. Okay. All right. Until next time.
Okay. Bye.
Bonjour.
Bonjour. It's au revoir.
Oh.
Say goodbye.
Thanks for listening. You can visit us at www.itshappeningforyou.com for more information about upcoming episodes and previous episodes, and just learn more about us. Here we go.
And a 3, and a 2, and a 1, and a welcome to, right?
It's
But
happening. Oh, I thought
let's start from the beginning.
It's Happening For You podcast with Robin Meharry
and Stephanie Lentini, the podcast about mastering the creation process and living a life of extraordinary possibilities.
Join us as we just talk every week and chat and share.
Have way too much fun. We love you.
We love you.
Thank you for being here with us.
And the beat drops.
And the beat drops.